Oh, hello and welcome to the Granny Handicap live stream. I'm Dennis Cole and welcome to the discussion on disabilities. Judge Judy Slayer, thank you for following me. I am still deciding what to comment on. I think it might be good to look at disability and what exactly is good to talk about on a family-friendly stream. I was looking at some controversies of big game streamers that we should, talk to your kids about their favorite streamers or YouTubers and then watch their comment, search for them on Google to see if any negative news pops up. This is on superparent.com. Check the ratings on the games featured in the streams. You want to make sure the game content is also age appropriate for your kids. And make a new house rule. Your kids can only watch streamers when you're around and without headphones. I think that's good advice. So, anyway, I was looking for family-friendly disability streamers and looking for articles. I don't feel comfortable reading any of these articles on my stream because I'm not sure of the copyright thing. I know that fair use includes editorial, but it's kind of I'm still feeling the waters here, so I'm not so sure. So let's see. Let's look. So I want to do something about disability and let's see. Streaming maybe? Family friendly streaming? Let's see. Well, here's Common Sense Media, movies with characters who have physical disabilities. So, Finding Nemo, of course. Nemo had a little fin instead of a fully developed fin. Okay, An American Girl, McKenna Shoots for the Stars. I'm not familiar with that one. Finding Dory. Dory has memory problems. Dolphin Tale. No Ordinary Hero, the Super Deafy movie. Okay, Going to the Mat. Hunchback of Notre Dame is very good. And Secret Garden. 23 Blast. Miracle Worker, of course, it's about Helen Keller and her teacher, who was also disabled. Simon Birch, Soul Surfer, Wonder, Breathe, Hearing is Believing, Marie's Story, Miss You Can Do It, Right-Footed, Best Summer Ever, Dear Frankie, The Horse Whisperer, The Rebound, Rising Phoenix, Peanut Butter Falcon, Audible, The Elephant Man, A Quiet Place, The Theory of Everything, which is about Hawking, who was brilliant and had ALS, which is Lou Gehrig's disease. The Upside, You're Not You, 37 Seconds, Children of a Lesser God, Crip Camp, A Disability Revolution. Has violence and language, though. Mogul Mowgli, Ray, Come As You Are, Fundamentals of Caring, The Intouchables, Life Feels Good, Murder Ball, My Left Foot, You and Me, Born on the 4th of July, Rust and Bone, The Sessions, and you'll notice that a lot of these are age 16 plus, age 17 plus, age 15 plus. So a lot of them are not general audiences, but so up to age 12, you've got, some good ones. So, okay, and little kids, of course, there's, okay, cool. So I will put this in the links. And I'll get the title. I guess I'll call this Disability and Media. So let's have another look. Okay. TV shows and movies that address disability and difference. If I can get just the title, please. There we go. Let's see. La 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 la. And the link itself. Doop, doop, doo, doo, doop, doop, doo, doop, doo. And let's see. All right, let me get both of these links in the chat, which I neglected to do. All right. Okay, and let's see who's on tonight. Oh, Academy Impossible, CQ Art, Sila. Cool, welcome. Good to see y'all tonight. And we're talking about disability in the media. And if you have any comments or any questions, please feel free to either call me on my text line or, text me on my text line. I got to quit with the call me. Or you can get on my Discord, or you can make an account here on Twitch. If you've got an account already, you can type in the Twitch. So let me know how you feel about what we're looking at, and if you've seen any of these movies or TV shows, please let me know, because I have not seen a whole bunch of these. So let's have a look. Wow. So, Raising Dion. Okay. That's one of four. Next is Sesame Street. Oh, so they've got Julia, a 4-year-old girl with autism. Cool. Goldie and Bear. Okay. Interesting. The Casagran, let's see. The Casagrans. As a character with Down syndrome. And Loop. Cool. Loop sounds interesting. About Renee, a non-speaking autistic girl. Wonder, about a 5th grade boy with a severe facial difference. Cool. Okay, and then Speechless, about their son who has cerebral palsy. And The Peanut Butter Falcon is about a young man with Down syndrome. And Crip Camp, a Disability Revolution, summer camp for kids with disabilities. Has some crude language and some not rated G talk, so okay. So this site seems to have some good reasons for, why the shows are rated as they are. That's good. Okay. And from the same site, 7 films that address disability. So and again, if y'all have any comments, please do weigh in. I don't know why it went down that far, but anyway, get the link. Put it here. And what I've been doing recently is I just put all of these links in a blog entry. Oh dear, I just wiped out my list. Oh, oop. All right. Okay, good. It's back. It's back, yay! Almost wiped out my list. But I'll put these in my blog, and then I'll put a link to the blog in Twitter so that every link that I put in here, because this chat will be gone after tonight's live stream. It will still be in the recorded version, which I always copy over to my YouTube Dana Stories account, but it's hard. The links aren't clickable in the replay, so I think it's important to have the clickable links somewhere. So I put them in my blog and I just put them on Twitter, and that way you can get to them after the live stream without having to type them in, which would be a lot of these are long. It's it's not an easy thing, but in my blog I've got them all. And so I do that every night after the live stream. I go ahead and copy the live stream over to my YouTube account, because Twitch only keeps 2 weeks worth of these. So that way YouTube keeps them forever, or whatever forever accounts to these days on social media sites. So for the moment, it's a semi-permanent way of my former live streams having a home. So then I make the blog entry out of the little notepad file that I have. And then that way I've got a record of what I've talked about on a particular night. So let's look at, well, I was already there. I was already there. Okay. And of course, I can vouch for Finding Nemo. I love that movie. It's so cool. And on the way to school, follows 4 children on their way to school. Samuel has a homemade wheelchair. Wow. Cool. Okay. Yeah. Cool. The point. Cool. I've never seen that one. Looks pretty cool. Okay. And The Miracle Worker. I love that movie. It focuses on Anne Sullivan's struggle to teach the blind and deaf Helen Keller how to communicate. It's very, very good. So they're recommending it for ages 10 and up, and I would agree. Some of the scenes are very intense. The King's Speech. It's rated R. Okay. That's one I won't be seeing. The Story of Luke. Hmm. Yeah, that's probably not a. Oh. And another PG-13, Where Hope Grows. Mm, okay. First movie in 25 years to give a major role to an actor with Down syndrome. There ought to be more movies with disabled characters. Um, One that I really like is Avatar, which features a character who is in a wheelchair. It, you know, I really like it. Let's see. Top 15 special needs documentaries. Let's have a look at this one. Okay, this is from Friendship Circle. So let's add them to the list down here. And special needs book and video series. Okay. Um, well, I'll just do that for brevity. And take that. And put it in the chat. Okay. Why have I got that open? I must have hit it by mistake. All right, back to, okay. Alrighty, this is part of a series, so if you want to see the other ones, you've got easy links there. Autism the Musical. Wow. Aw. I have Tourette's, but Tourette's doesn't have me. Wow. Wow. Normal People Scare Me, another one about autism. Cool. I can't do this, but I can do that. Learning disabilities. Cool. Okay. A mother's courage talking back to autism. Educating Peter, who has Down syndrome. Cool. Manuel's gift. Ooh, wow. Wow. That's neat. Wretches and jabberers. Cool. Okay, misunderstood minds. Spends 3 years following 5 families with children who struggle with learning disabilities. Including Samuel. Cool. About inclusion. Neat. That would be cool. Darius Goes West. About Duchenne muscular dystrophy. Wow. Cool. Neat. Her name is Sabine. About autism. Hmm. Yeah. Loving lampposts. Another one about autism. Dakota's Pride. Down syndrome. Wow. Cool. A moving journey about cerebral palsy. Wow. Cool. Well, very good. So, definitely I will be looking for some of these. Okay, let's see, I think I did put it in the chat. Let me make sure that I did. I did. Yay, I was good. Okay, let's go on. Well, we might as well look at Lives Worth Living. I love PBS documentaries. So let me get this. And I'll get the title off of there. It's 2011, but it's probably still good. Okay, I'll get that. Alrighty, let's have a look and see what this documentary is about. After World War II, we started seeing a little change in the United States in the so Lives Worth Living traces the development of consciousness of these pioneers who realized that in order to change the world, they needed to work together. It's an oral history. Cool. So Fred Fay and Ed Roberts. Cool. Yeah, when I worked at Georgia Tech, there was a disabled young man who dragged himself up the steps of the administration building, and I thought it was awful that they didn't put a ramp or anything so disabled people couldn't go to the office. The every college campus needs an accessible administration building. And it ends with the battle for the Americans with Disabilities Act, which absolutely is wonderful. So definitely, I want to see this. Okay, let's look up movies with special needs characters. This is from Easter Seals, Canada. So let's see if they have any on there that is. Easter Seals, of course, is an organization that's all about children born with disabilities and getting the help they need. So it's a very, very good organization. So let me get the title of this. Did I put Lives Worth Living on there? Yes, I did. So I will get that. And here is that link. There we go. And all right. Okay. So, Crib Camp, Theory of Everything about Stephen Hawking. Ray looks at Ray Charles, who was a blind singer. Walk, Ride, Rodeo. Ooh, wow. And Amberly acted as her own stunt double for all of the post-crash riding sequences in the film. Interesting. Breathe is about Robin Cavendish, a 28-year-old Englishman who got polio in 1958. Wow. Cool. The Peanut Butter Falcon. I Am Sam. It's a fictional drama about a man living with an intellectual disability. Okay, Still Alice. Oh, wow. Story of a linguistics professor diagnosed with early onset familial Alzheimer's disease. The Fundamentals of Caring. Okay, A Quiet Place. So the characters use ASL because they're scared of the blind aliens that track and kill using their acute hearing. Terry Fox story. Okay. Athlete, humanitarian, and cancer research activist. Okay, cool. So that's their list. And film and TV with disabled characters from the IMDb. Okay. I'll do this. And this is films with disabled characters. Alrighty, let's have a look. Back over. Christy Brown, born with cerebral palsy, learns to paint and write with his only controllable limb, his left foot. Ruth, the life of a blind photographer who is okay, Rear Window, wheelchair-bound photographer. The Sessions. That doesn't. Not one that I'm gonna. Rory O'Shea was here. But it's R. Extreme Measures, another R-rated. X-Men. I like X-Men. It's not necessarily about disabilities, but it's definitely about a group of people with abilities that are above normal humans, and for that they are facing a lot of discrimination and all. The X-Men series is very, very good. Do remember that there is bad language, so but I think it's very good. Born on the 4th of July, it's rated R, so I will not be watching it. Bone Collector, another R-rated. Gattaca. That sounds interesting. Murderball, that's an R. So 4 Weddings and a Funeral. The Intouchables is also R. Live Flesh is R. Becker. I wonder what the disability is. Unbreakable. Yeah, this, I saw it. Very, very good. And it explores survivor's guilt and a whole bunch of stuff. Bruce Willis is very good in this role. I definitely recommend it. Surrogates. Glee. Avatar is wonderful. I do recommend it. It does have bad language and, so, but for teenagers over 13, I think it's very, very good. Persons Unknown is R. Coming Home is R. The Theory of Everything. I would like to see that. Million Dollar Baby. Wow. Notting Hill. Hmm, interesting. Blindness. Wow, that would be scary. Mad Max Fury Road, and of course it's R. Water Dance is R. Forrest Gump was very, very good. Wow, it really was neat. And Tom Hanks gave a stellar performance in it. Very, very good. So I would recommend that you watch it. It was very good. Rust and Bone was R. I don't watch R-rated movies. Me Before You. Hmm. Okay. NCIS. Hmm. Okay. NCIS New Orleans. La Ultima Morada. Hmm. Daredevil. Daredevil was very good. I did enjoy this movie much. Um, and there again, all the PG-13s are probably going to have some language, so just be aware of that. Blind Fury is R, Almost an Angel. Hmm, cool. Above Suspicion, it's R. Rear Window. Hmm, interesting. Bush Girls. Okay. Quads. Hmm. Blind. Hmm. See no evil, hear no evil. Game of Thrones is something I won't be watching. Beeswax. Hmm. hmm. The Good Doctor, about a young surgeon with autism. It's I haven't watched it. I've watched some reviews of it by Dr. Mike, Real Doctor. I would really like to watch it. Soul Surfer. Wow. Into the Badlands. Barbed Wires, rated R. New. Weird. In Darkness. Hmm. Come as You Are. Same thing. Glass was really good. Um, it it and Unbreakable are connected. They're part of a series of movies. Very, very good. Birds of Prey. Hmm. Okay. The Diving Bell and the Butterfly. Hmm. Interesting. Hmm. The Cake Eaters are at first sight. Wow. 37 seconds. Hmm. Quiet Place. Okay. The Outer Limits. Valerie 23. Hmm. Okay. Vikings. That I won't be watching. Kiki Love to Love. Hmm. Okay. Breathe. Cool. Fundamentals of Caring. Bitter Moon. Call to Spy. Interesting. Okay. And well, thank you, Jackson Day, for the follow. Appreciate that. Alrighty. Let's continue our foray into the world of media and the disabled. So here's Bridges for Kids.org. Let's see what they've got. And oh, thank you. Very nice. I am happy to do that. No problem. Hey, good to see y'all. Have you got any ideas for movies or books that you've read with disabled characters? Or do you have any comments on the sources that we've been looking at? I haven't seen Wonder. I want to. Hmm, interesting. Okay. I saw the previews of Wonder and I really want to see it, but I'm waiting for it to come on one of my free sources because we're low income. It's hard. But um, let's watch the language here because we never know when families with kids might drop in. So we want to. It's okay. It's okay. Just keep that in mind. We don't want to use bad language here. It's all right. I understand. Breaking Bad, I have not. So interesting. So yeah, there's a lot of them that I haven't seen. I've seen some of the old standards like the one about Helen Keller. Yeah. Yeah, I saw Back to the Future years ago. I didn't remember that about it. Wow. Cool. Very good. So, any other comments or suggestions of, movies, books, or any media? Wow, The Ringer. Cool. Let's look it up. And here's a list. If any of those are, I saw Bubble Boy. It was very good. I saw Charlie. I liked it a lot. Of course, Forrest Gump, I really, really liked. It's Wonderful Life was very good. I love that movie. The Love Story was really, really good. That's one of my all-time favorite movies. The Miracle Worker, that's the one I was trying to think of. Very, very good. Wish this had ratings. I saw Steel Magnolias and liked it a lot. And Swing Kids. Three Faces of Eve was very, very good. Unbreakable was very good. Okay. So let me get the pretty good. Okay. I'll that there. And the link. And put that in the chat. Ooh. Oh, I saw Forrest Gump. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. I really enjoyed, um, Tom Hanks is good in anything, and, just wonderful. I will have to look up The Ringer. Stand By Me was very good. I, been a while since I saw it, but it was very good. Cool. I didn't. I've seen It's a Wonderful Life many, many times, the old black and white one. The Nutty Professor, I, saw that in the '60s, so it's been quite a while. But, wow. But yeah, definitely good suggestions. I will have to, look up all of these. So let's see. So Wonder is in one of the lists I already did. Candyman. Let's see what Candyman is. Okay, slasher. I won't be watching that one. I don't like horror. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Breaking Bad. Let's have a look at Breaking Bad. I guess if we look up El Camino, we will find something about Breaking Bad. Let's see. Let's see. So this one's TVMA, so I probably won't see that. Um, let's see if okay, Breaking Bad. And it's also mature, so oh well. Wow. Okay, now I know what it's about. All right. And Back to the Future. Well, did it again. Okay. Yeah, it was such a cute movie. I didn't know he had epilepsy in there. That's really interesting. Okay. And the ringer. Let's look up the ringer. Okay. Is this the one? Oh, okay. Hmm. Okay. Okay. PG-13. Okay. And cool. Elephant Man. I haven't seen the Elephant Man. Let me look it up. Okay. There's the interesting. Oh, and it's included on Prime? I might watch that. It'd be very interesting to see that. Bless his heart. That would be awful to have Forrest Gump. Definitely. I loved that movie. Absolutely loved it. So I'm gonna, let's see. There we go. Forrest Gump. So good. Okay. And What's Eating Gilbert Grape? Let's look up that one. There it is. Johnny Depp. He's good. Wow. Okay. And yeah, I'm gonna watch that. But you have to have a subscription to Netflix. I can't afford that. Oh well. Interesting. Okay. And Stand By Me. Let's have a look. Oh, it's R. No, I haven't seen it, and I won't. Our church frowns on R-rated movies. We don't watch them. Um, okay. It's a Wonderful Life. Let's look at and see. I love the original 1946. So, which one are you referring to? Is it the 1994? Let's see. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I know it. When when they cast non-disabled people for disabled role, it would be nice if they would just cast disabled persons. But we shouldn't call them spastic. We should call them, people with cerebral palsy or um so I want to see the Elephant Man. I think it would be really, really cool. Oh, bless your heart. Um, you're very sweet, Mario. Oh, okay. Um, yeah, we have to be careful. We don't want to use derogatory terms. So the I've never seen it, but I've wanted to. So bless your heart. You're sweet. Thank you. That's very sweet of you. I I will definitely look for it and see. Aw, y'all are sweet. Thank you. I don't know how to do a gift subscription, but maybe the Netflix page has something like that. So, but I can I have a lot of free sources for movies. I'll just have to look around and see what I can find. I've got Peacock, and I've got Pluto TV, and I've got a lot of them. And I do have Amazon Prime, so if it's on Prime Video, I can get it. So I'll have to take a look and see. That's where I get most of my movies. I spring for the half price Prime subscription because I can prove my food stamps and get it for half. But thank you guys. You're very sweet. So But definitely, I'm gonna look for Elephant Man after the live stream and, see if I can watch it. I love to find new movies that I can watch about disabled people because I want to understand disabilities I don't have. So, let's see. So, let me I want to ask about It's a Wonderful Life. Which version was that? Because if we Really? I'm 62. I was born in 1958. So I grew up without a VCR, without computers, without cell phones. I mean, I grew up in the day where if you needed to make a phone call and you were in a car, you had to find a payphone. And you had to find one that worked because a lot of times they were broken. So, yeah, I am 62. And I still have a greasy face, so, that's one reason I don't have as many wrinkles, and I've never smoked. So, 2 reasons for looking a bit younger. I used to typically be, um people thought I was in my 20s when I was in my 30s and stuff like that. It tickles me. But I've got the silver hair. There. Yeah, you can see my silver. I am not getting a lot of silver because, my granddaddy had hair this color at in his 70s. So he didn't have as much of it as I have, but definitely it runs on my mother's side of the family. So yeah, I've never dyed my hair, so um it's needing a little washing, but anyway. But yeah, so which version of that was I wanted to look up all the movies y'all have um been talking about. I've got several versions of It's a Wonderful Life up. So was it in It's a Wonderful Afterlife or My Wonderful Life or It's a Wonderful Life in 1994 or the rest of the story? Which one was it? Do the curtains match the drapes? Well, I'll tell you, in my mind, I feel 16. I feel young. But I probably have some attitudes from the 60s because that's what I remember the most. I was born in 58, but by the time I was 2, I was starting to really tune into the world around me, and I learned to read at 2 and a half on my own, which was unusual. Everywhere I went in the neighborhood, they were pushing a Bible at me. Oh, read this or read the newspaper because my friend doesn't believe you can read. And so I was constantly, to get to play with my friends, I had to read first. They were very, very surprised, but it was fun. The Passion of the Christ? No, I haven't. 'Cause it's R and our church said it was not a good thing to watch, so we didn't. So we I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and, people commonly call us Mormons, but we're not the Mormons that do polygamy. We are the bigger Mormon church. And, So we have some rules that normal people don't, but I love my church and I get a lot of strength from my faith. So, um, uh, but I don't really believe that Joseph abused Jesus. I really don't. So, you know, it's sad that they took that take because, if you already know that your human son is the son of God, you're not gonna do that. Wow. But, definitely it's a good thing to show abuse for what it is because we need to spread the word that abuse is not a good thing. We need to make sure in our schools that bullying is not going on, which is a form of abuse. And, I think the schools should join hands with psychologists because a lot of the ways that they teach teachers to handle their classrooms is not appropriate. It's not what a child psychologist would recommend. So I think that when teachers are taught to teach, they should have courses in psychology relating to what do you do when students misbehave because there's so much cruelty in public schools. And I had bullies from the time I was in very early elementary school all the way through middle school, and it was horrible. It did bad things to my mental health. Another thing I think public schools should do that they're not doing is give every student at least 30 minutes to eat lunch, and they should be able to socialize. I don't believe in corporal punishment. I grew up in a time in the '60s that they were still doing paddlings out in the hall, and I saw the barbarism of that. I totally disagree with corporal punishment. Yeah, I mean, they would make the kid stand with his hands flat against the wall with his butt sticking out, and they would take a paddle, sometimes with holes drilled into it. It's a board this thick. It says at least an inch thick. And they would fling back like it was a baseball bat and hit these poor kids. And it was horrifying. I don't think that anybody deserves that. And especially kids, they do things. Um, oh, well, definitely I think that they should have consequences for saying things like that. It's not right that, especially now with the political environment the way it is, cruelty seems to be in, and we need a kinder, gentler school system. We- Oh, it's awful. And it's gotten so much press, Trump making fun of that disabled reporter just horrified me. It's like, no, they should not get by with this. So, school systems need to have lessons on why this is harmful. They need to have sessions led by a psychologist to teach kids that words can hurt. Bless your heart. Mario, It's normal to be angry. It is definitely normal to be angry when you're facing that day after day after day. It's horrible. I blame the school people that are not taking the time to teach these kids kinder, gentler ways of relating to each other. I don't think the answer is more punishment. I think the answer is letting some people like you talk about how that hurts and let them feel, what this does, because we tend to put up that facade as disabled people. We tend to put on a smile and say everything's fine. Well, that's not right. I don't think Jesus was, because the story from the Bible was that he took that one fish and six loaves and he did a miracle and fed all those people. So it's sad that some people that don't believe want to just say things like that about him. People are entitled to their own opinions, and if they don't believe in the Bible and they're not Christians, then I don't have any hate for them. I just feel sad that they don't feel the joy that I feel from thinking about Jesus's miracles. But um, as far as cruelty in schools, it needs to stop. All the cruelty needs to stop. The answer is not to deprive kids of socialization. The answer to that is to have teachers sit with the students like they used to when I was in school, and you didn't have people picking on people when the teacher was sitting at the head of the table. Let's not use bad language. And it's not right that yeah, people tend to put down what they don't understand. And a lot of times, these kids that pick on other kids aren't really bad kids. Oh, thank you, Mario, for the follow. It's that they're being taught hate at home. Or maybe they just decide that they're miserable, so they want to make other people miserable. And this is the thing that happens when people need mental health care. But what we all need to do is work together, not fomenting hate and sarcasm and all the things that hurt people's feelings. We need to be more open with our feelings and say, hey, that hurt my feelings, and what can you do? You need teachers and people around you at school to put a stop to it, but in a nice way. They need to set the example, and the first thing they need to do is to say, if they hear a remark of cruelty from one kid to another, they need to say to that kid, call their name and say, I'm hoping that you will choose to be kinder to people because I want to have love in my classroom. And I think if more teachers stood up and said that they would like to see more kindness and more reaching out to each other, I think that that might set a tone. Some people are going to say things like that no matter what you do, no matter what you try. But I do know that attacking them doesn't help, and corporal punishment just makes them more resentful and more likely to act out. They need to have psychologists on board, and they need to have people to talk to these young people and explain what that does to people, because words do hurt. Our suicide rates are terrible in this country. And I would like to see public schools taking the lead on this and saying, all right, in this school, we are not going to tolerate cruelty. We are instead going to say, if something hurts me, I'm going to say, ow, that really hurt my feelings. And if someone keeps on being mean, then we should say, why are you attacking me? I didn't do anything to you. We need to figure out ways of communicating, because if you have healthy communication going on, communication with no name calling, with no attacks, you just be calm and you say politely, I really didn't like that because it hurt my feelings. If we can be more assertive, then maybe we can nip some of this hate and cruelty in the bud. I think that school administrators should be going on social media. They should notice who is picking on who, and they should complain about it to the social media companies, because you can report anybody, any post, if they're using hate speech, if they are attacking somebody, threats. These are legal issues, and we need to protect people on social media. We need to go on there and say, this is wrong. This should not be happening. We should be kind to each other. And the trolls won't get what they want if we're going on there and saying, this person didn't deserve this attack. We need to stand up for each other, but in kind ways. Because if you return the name calling, if you return the jabs that hurt, if you find out something about somebody and broadcast it all over social media, you're using their tactics. Yul Brynner made a very good quote one time that my sister quoted a lot. He said, to argue with an idiot, you have to get down to their level, and on that level, you cannot win. And I don't want to use the word idiot, but basically somebody who is out there trolling, they're out there to start controversy, they are wanting division and hate. If you just counter that with a little love, it might diffuse the situation. And, psychologists have a lot of good ideas on how to handle things like that. They should be teaching it in the schools. They should be teaching kids how to stand up for their friends in a non-confrontive way. Because the more you return violence for violence, it escalates, and pretty soon you've got a fist fight, and that's what you do not want. You want to diffuse the situation, bring the temperature of the conversation down some, and nobody should have to be putting up with somebody attacking you verbally day after day. That's horrible. That's why I say that, there's the mind-body connection. And definitely, if you're being attacked constantly, you can't be mentally healthy, because, you've got this venom running down your face every day, and it burns, it hurts. So you end up, if you hold all that emotion in, you get headaches, you get stomach aches, you just feel lousy. It definitely affects your physical well-being to be attacked and persecuted like that. So we need to be kinder and gentler to not only ourselves, but to people who attack us because they are not operating from a center of love. They are operating from a center of hate and division. And that is learned. It may be learned at home or it may be learned from the media they're listening to. Very hard to say, but we need not to just sit there and let them do it. We need to counter, but in a loving way. We need to say, I wish you wouldn't attack me because I don't have any ill will towards you. I really don't feel like attacking you. And I wish that you would just relax and chill out and not attack me like this because it really hurts my feelings. You know, there are ways to kind of be diplomatic and diffuse heat because heat leads to blows. It's explosive. So if you can diffuse that some way or another, and it's not really your job to have to do that, really, teachers and administrators should be doing that. But if they're not doing that, why aren't they? Why aren't they diffusing this so it doesn't get to the point of, I think most schools, I don't know what the statistics are, but it seems like a lot of schools react to fights as taking away recess and putting these 5-minute breaks where you run to your locker and you struggle to get to class on time. Why? Why in the world do they do that? It just yes, then kids are more likely to attack each other because if you treat people like animals, they tend to act like them. I think there should be 30-minute lunches for every student, and actually, I think it should be an hour. OSHA gives every employee 30-minute breaks and 15-minute breaks every 4 hours. I think that should be double for kids in school and in college. Of course, in college, you can schedule your classes any way you want to, but I think that administrators should allow enough time between classes for people to go to their lockers and get their books um, or just go electronic with the books so that you're not having to go to the locker and retrieve physical books. And kids need time to socialize. Just cutting off socialization because you get fights is not the answer. The answer is to have supervised time where kids can talk to each other and work things out and give them the tools they need to work it out. Have psychologists available. They've got online stuff. They could bring a psychologist in online and have them mediate arguments. If they taught kids how to deal with this and how to respond so it doesn't escalate the already high emotion, there would be less fights in schools. There would be less just hurt. The hurt load is, oh, just encompassing in public schools. You have so many people picking on each other. And this is a sign that the administration is not fulfilling the needs of kids in school. They need to have social time. They need to have recess so that they can go take a walk or something if they're feeling pent up. They need to have this accessible for all students so that disabled people can also have a paved path that they can roll their wheelchair out and enjoy a little breather and a little nature, you know, we need to revamp how we do public school. And I think having the counties in charge of it is a mistake. I think it should be at least the state level. There should be some minimum standards, and there should be care to include everybody, no matter what race, what religion, what um, beliefs. They need to have accommodations, and they need to be able to tailor the school day according to the parents' wishes. And I know that's opening a whole new can of worms. But as a parent with two kids in public school who both had disabilities, they both had ADD, um, absolutely, it was a circus every day. And I think that they should have access to psychologists and MSWs. They should have therapists on call. They should be letting the therapist take care of this, except and not school psychologists who are basically psychometrists. They give tests. They are experimental psychologists. They are not clinical psychologists. So they need to have access to true clinical therapists so that when kids have problems, they can talk it out with somebody who's going to steer them in a good direction, in a healthy direction. And they need to teach the teachers how to handle things in a way that is psychologically healthy. Because a lot of the methods they use are not psychologically healthy, and look at how many fights you have in public schools. What they're doing is not working. They need to revamp how they think about school, how they think about discipline. And discipline should not be punishment. Punishment is make the person pay. It's a revenge tactic, basically. Instead, you want to guide a person to a healthier form of communication, one that does not include attacking the person, name calling, making rude comments, attacking anything that is different about them. And if you have healthy communication in the classroom, you're going to have a kinder, gentler approach to study. How can you concentrate on your history class if you've just been beaten over the head with all these comments about your disability? It's it's not a conducive atmosphere to learning. School administrators need to recognize that bullying is toxic. It needs to be ended. And there are ways to end it without carnage, without fights, without people verbally attacking each other. They just need to have a clinical psychologist on call and get their advice and follow it. It's kind of like following the science, with all the controversy over masks and social distancing. And in the schools, they've kind of waived the 6-foot requirement down to 3 feet so they can cram more people in the class. That is not the way to do it. What they really needed to do is make sure that every school has a UV sanitizer in the HVAC system so that you are constantly zapping all the microbes that are making people sick. They've found out that people with A and B blood are very susceptible to infection compared to people with AB or O. O is the most common type, so you can imagine me with B positive blood all the way through school. It was not uncommon for me to miss 30 days in a 190-day school year. And it's because I caught everything. They didn't want you missing school. If you had a fever, you went anyway. And disastrous results because even a common cold can kill. If enough people get it, there's going to be one that's going to get pneumonia, and out of those who get pneumonia, there's going to be some who will die. Flu kills hundreds of thousands of people every year. So, why aren't we doing more to protect students from microbes, period? A UV sanitizer, which costs about $200, that's all you need. Put that in the HVAC, and then you've got sanitized air. These solutions don't have to cost a lot, and they could save so many lives. It worries me the amount of children that are ending up in COVID wards. And it worries me that in my state, 92% of the ICU beds are full. That means somebody has an accident, somebody falls and gets a head injury at home, somebody gets hurt on the playground. Where are they going to go? They can't go to the hospital to the ER because the ERs are full. So we need to be requiring the COVID shots. Enough millions of people have taken them without any serious side effects, so that should be enough proof for everybody if they would quit politicizing things and just look at it from a public health standpoint. When there is a pandemic, we need to take these precautions, the masks, social distancing, UV sanitizers in the HVAC, and not penalize people that can't wear a mask for medical reasons. But the mask is a simple thing. I have asthma and I wear my mask everywhere out of the house I go. And it's not easy to keep a mask on when am already short of breath a lot of the time, but I do it because I care about other people, because if I had COVID and didn't know it, even though I've been vaccinated both times, I could still get enough of the virus to transmit it without symptoms. So I still wear a mask even though I'm fully vaccinated. And I can't understand all the division in the country over a little strip of cloth that goes over your face and mouth and just prevents you from spreading 80% of your germs, to other people. Masks work. They have been proven to work, and there is a lot of confusing information out there that honestly some enemies of the United States are pumping disinformation into a lot of places. And masks shouldn't be political. But it's interesting to note that in 1918, when we had the Spanish flu, that was our last pandemic, it lasted for 2 years. And there were whole communities that went all in for masking, and then they decided they didn't want to require masks, and their infection rates went up. There were communities that had high infection rates, and they decided to make a mask mandate, and they saved a lot of lives. So we need to kind of look at this from a standpoint of saving lives rather than pointing fingers and saying, well, I'm Republican, I'm not going to wear a mask because that's the unpatriotic thing to do. It should have nothing to do with patriotism and everything to do with simply saving lives. And if a mask can save a life, I will wear it because I don't want to be responsible for people's lives. One doctor was estimating that with the Delta variant, one person can infect 59,000 people in 10 cycles. That means you're around crowds, you're infecting 7 people at a time. 10 times you're infecting directly 70 people who then go on to infect in 10 cycles, 7 people per cycle, and it ends up being 159,000 people. So that means everybody in your city, if you're in a small place, it's scary stuff. And most people who die because they get pneumonia as a complication. And pneumonia can be a complication of a simple cold. So we need to quit politicizing things and just look from the standpoint of saving lives. Now, I'm a Democrat. I am not saying that all the Republicans deserve to die because they're not getting vaccinated in droves. That's not a Christian attitude. I believe that we should be saving lives. I don't care if they're Republican lives or Democrat lives or independent lives or people who aren't political. I think we should be saving lives. So that's how I feel about that. I really think that the schools are key because in the schools is where I got sick most of the times I got sick in my life. And children do tend to, if you're crowded into classrooms, in my classrooms, all the way through school, there were 35 students in each of my classes. And it's crazy to cram so many in. Why can't we have smaller schools in neighborhoods? So every neighborhood would have its own school. And then you would have less crowding. You'd have to have more teachers, but you could have, you know, less chance for infection to spread. And all the things that spread in public schools. Lice was a problem, big problem in the schools when my kids were going. And did you know that colored people who are black, who are Hispanic, do not get lice? Only white people get lice, you know? And a lot of white people want to blame it on other races, but hey, they don't get lice. Their hair is a different texture than ours. Lice don't like hair of people of color, so they come straight to us white people. So some health problems are race related. And it doesn't mean that people are dirty because they're low income or all the myths that politicians want to say. It's purely a lack of health care among low income people. And it doesn't matter whether they're people of color or white people like me. We need to make sure that all of us are taken care of. And against people of color, after we white people have exploited them, think about the Tuskegee Airmen and how they were experimented on. They were an all-black flight crew, and um, there were probably, I think, tens of thousands, and they infected them with a naughty disease, which, you know, it's crazy. And so a lot of them died because they withheld treatment. So no wonder a lot of people of color don't trust the government because of things that racist people have done over the years. But with the COVID vaccines, there's been a multidisciplinary board at the CDC that looks at these studies in an independent way without, you know, having biases. And they have been very careful how they've done the trials on the vaccines, and they have also been careful to um, not skip any steps. They did some of the steps at the same time, which made it seem fast that the vaccines were approved for emergency use. And now the Pfizer vaccine has got full authorization. And I imagine Moderna will be pretty close there. Johnson and Johnson came into the picture later, so their authorization will be later in coming. But um, you know, if I didn't think the vaccine was safe, I wouldn't have taken both doses of it. And it did give me a slight some symptoms that showed me that the vaccine was working, and my immune system did mount a response. It doesn't give you COVID, it gives you the spike protein, which alerts your body to attack that spike protein. And that's how the mRNA vaccines work. So it's just a piece of the virus rather than the whole virus. So it can't make you have the virus and be contagious, but it does give you symptoms. And it wasn't pleasant, but I didn't have anything severe enough to even call my doctor about both times. So, you know, I just wish that more people would be vaccinated so that we could get rid of COVID. If enough people don't get the vaccination, we might have to be living with COVID like we live with the Spanish flu. It's a type A influenza and it comes back every year. So, especially we disabled people need to be careful with our health because we can be worse off. I've heard a lot of people who have disabilities talk about, well, I've already lost some intelligence due to my head injury. It won't hurt if I get a fall and lose some more. And you can always be worse off. So we need to be more careful because we've got disabilities. We need to take care of our health and prevent as much trouble as possible because it can always be worse. My poor sister was misled by people, didn't get the COVID vaccine. Now she's got heart failure on top of all her other problems. She's 12 years older than me, so she has a lot of health problems that I don't have to deal with. And now she's tied to an oxygen container. It's awful. She can't just jump in the car and take a drive like she used to do. So it can always be worse. So I'm gonna go ahead and do y'all have any more comments? Because I kind of went off on a tangent there. But Mario and Jackson, I'm glad y'all came to visit me tonight, and thank you for all the input in chat. And also, I want to thank Academy Impossible, CQ Art, and others who have been visiting tonight. And I hope that the links I provided are helpful. It's fun to see who's been in, you know, even if they didn't use disabled actors and actresses to play parts of disabled people, it's still important that we explore issues related to disability. There's always grief especially if you require a disability suddenly, or if you've got a disability like Duchenne's muscular dystrophy that has a very awful prognosis. Um, it's good that Hollywood does try to portray disabled people and disabled everyday life. And I'm hoping that there will be more as we go along. There's a lot of YouTubers who have disabilities who film parts of their life, and you know, um, it's good that we have that. I wish that more of them didn't use bad language and made it more family friendly, because I would think it would be more useful to people with families, because you want your kids to know what disability is like. You want your kids to know that they shouldn't be making fun of disabled people. And for our president to be on the news and making fun of a disabled reporter, that was horrible. It was a horrible example, and it's showing up in, maybe Trump supporter families thinking it's okay to pick on disabled people. I think things are a lot worse for us now because of that and other incidents. I worry about our youth. I worry about all of us, really, but I especially worry about our youth in schools, because school systems are not very good on the track record of dealing with cyberbullying and regular bullying. I don't think they're doing enough to prevent it, to stop it once it does occur. And some of the things they do, like restricting recess and shortening lunch hours, it's barbaric. I think that every young person should have a basic list of human rights. And I would think that at least a 30-minute lunch would be at the top of the list, and being able to have access to socialize with friends. What is school for if you can't see your friends? This is again and again I saw when kids were doing lessons from home. They interviewed a lot of kids, and almost universally it's like, well, I miss my friends. Why can't we have safe platforms for kids, social media platforms for kids with built-in protections? My Twitch live stream has a bot that I can turn on, and I keep it turned on all the time, that filters hate speech and bad words and a lot of things that I don't have to watch the chat constantly. I can just have that running, and then it will hold any comments for me to say yes or no. I'll allow this or I won't allow this. And no, no offense to people that I did not let their comments go through tonight, but I'm trying to keep this. I'm building a community here for disabled people to be able to come and say what they feel, and I want it to be a safe environment for everybody. I don't want anybody to be cyberbullied or have somebody say something that's going to offend them. So I've got it set all the way up, and it may catch some things that aren't bad, but I would much rather be on the side of that. But somebody really should make social media platforms for people in school that are local to the school, so they can see their friends on there. So the groups are small enough that, teachers can weigh in if they think things are getting out of hand. And they can run these bots like I've got, to intercept any speech that's gonna just hit somebody right here before it gets out there. And, you know, Facebook has so much potential. They could do that. They could come up with a kids Facebook, and automatically anybody who is between 13 and 18 should be in the kids' Facebook. And then people could, because technically Facebook says if you're not 18, you shouldn't be on here. Well, why can't they come up with a kids' Facebook so that parents who want their kids to be able to enjoy the benefits of Facebook can go on it? On a Facebook Kids that has moderators who are parents, and that way you wouldn't have a lot of the cruelty that goes on Facebook and other social media platforms. It's not just Facebook, it's all of them. We should have safe places for kids, and we should have safe places for under 13s as well. We need to figure out a way with technology that we can use AI to catch things that would be hurtful and maybe suggest to that person privately that they should put things in a more friendly way. We could do some teaching with these AI bots. So much potential. I believe that technology can change things for the better, and I wish that they would do that. I really do. So, my friends, I'm going to end the live stream, and I am very thankful for all of y'all to come and spend some time with me at Granny's house. And y'all are welcome anytime. I will be back tomorrow night, and we'll be talking about some more disability issues. So, if there's anything you want me to cover, then please let me know, and I will try to do that. In the meantime, stay happy and look at what you can do and kind of put off to the side the things you can't do. Maybe some of them are things you can't do yet, or just basically you can't anymore. But whatever your can do and can't do lists are, enjoy what you can do. What you can do is valid and it's worthwhile. Y'all are good people, and I love you. Mwah. Take care and come back to see me. Y'all take care, and I'm going to put up my little goodbye screen. There it is. And farewell for now from Granny. See you next live stream. Bye-bye.